All Weather Friends. The author's name is really tricky to read. Hold on. It says by Udo. Well, Wiegelt? I'm sorry. I said that name terribly. Illustrated by Nicholas Ajord Uy? See, even English is hard for teachers to read. Names, in particular, are very difficult for even adults to read. But anyway, that's not what's important. What's important is that we stated who the author is, and the author is the person who wrote this lovely book, and who the illustrator is, and that's the person who drew all the cute pictures. And this is called All Weather Friends. It's about a couple of frogs and a lot of animals, and there was a big misunderstanding, but they work it out in the end. Are you ready? All right. Here is our title page. And this is all our copyright and publisher's information over here. Moss, this is Moss, had just taken his morning bath when Hedgehog came by. "Good day," Moss said cheerfully. "That's what I just came to find out," Hedgehog said. "What do you mean?" asked Moss. "Is it going to be a good day? Everyone says that frogs can tell what the weather will be. The humans in the house at the edge of the woods even have a frog in a jar. It's their weather frog. I heard them say so." Moss looked at Hedgehog in surprise. He'd never heard of such a thing. A weather frog? He said slowly while thinking fast. "Well, you see, yes, I believe the weather will be fine today. The sun is going to shine all day. It will be beautiful." "Great," cried Hedgehog. He wanted to go on a picnic with some other animals. Everybody go, "Hmm." But no sooner had the animals set out, the sky suddenly grew dark. Looking up at that sky. The first raindrops fell, then a torrential storm sent the animals running for cover. Everyone was furious. Moss had ruined their plans. He had promised them a sunny day. They headed down to the pond to give him a piece of their minds. Poor Moss. "You said it would be a beautiful day," said Hedgehog accusingly. "Yes, well, everyone makes mistakes," said Moss, turning red. But now I know for sure. Today it is going to rain all day, so you better just stay home." Just then, the sun broke through the clouds, and everything was steamy and warm. "What is wrong with you?" asked Beaver. "The sun is shining, but you just said that it was going to rain all day." "One wonders," cracked Crow, "if you're a proper frog at all." Moss was very embarrassed. If everyone thought that frogs could predict the weather, then it must be true. But why on earth couldn't he do it? "Of course I'm a proper frog," he said. "Today it will be partly cloudy with a chance of afternoon showers." But then it began to snow. Now the animals were really angry. "You're a liar, Moss," cried Fox, outraged. "Nothing you say is true." The animals turned up their noses and they went away, leaving Moss quite confused and unhappy. "I didn't really mean to disappoint them," he thought. "But how should I know what the weather's going to be? Especially on a day when it changes every 5 minutes. Sound familiar? We've never had such weather before. Still, the animals expect me to do it. So, I'm going to have to learn. Surely that weather frog must be a professional and will be able to help me. So Moss hopped off to the human's house at the edge of the woods. When he got there, the sun was shining brightly and all the snow had melted, and on the windowsill stood a big glass jar, and in the jar was a frog. "Hello," Moss said. "Could you perhaps tell me how one is supposed to know what the weather will be?" The frog in the jar only stared at him unhappily, with a wide, unblinking eyes. Moss tried a louder voice. "Hello! Can you hear me?" This time the frog croaked something, but Moss couldn't hear through the glass. So he hopped up the windowsill, and the frog grew very excited. And suddenly Moss realized, this frog is being imprisoned! I must help. And with all his strength, Moss pushed the glass jar along the windowsill until it fell off the edge. The glass shattered and the little frog was freed. The two frogs hopped away lickety-split. They didn't pause until they reached the edge of the forest. "Thank you for helping me escape," said the frog. "My name is Olive." "I'm glad I came along," he said proudly. "I'm Moss. Why were you trapped in that glass jar with just a ladder?" "Humans have this old saying that if a frog is up the ladder, there's gonna be fair weather," explained Olive. "But frogs can't really forecast the weather." "They can't?" Moss said, and he told her what had happened to her with all the other animals. "Why did you pretend?" asked Olive. "They told me that all proper frogs knew how to predict the weather, so I had to show them that I really was one." "Well, they're wrong," said Olive, "and you're lucky you didn't end up in a jar like me." Then she laughed. "Come on, let's play. We can do that in any type of weather." They hopped all the way back to Moss's pond. And then they played games like who could hop the highest, and who could inflate the fattest, and who could dive the deepest, and who could croak the loudest. When the other animals came back to the pond, they were surprised to see the two frogs. "Friends," croaked Moss proudly, "I'd like you to meet the real weather frog. She was trapped in that jar, and I rescued her." All the animals started talking at once. "What will the weather be? Is it going to rain tomorrow? Will we have a hot summer? How much snow will fall next winter?" Olive and Moss started laughing. The animals grew quiet. "I have absolutely no idea," Olive explained. The animals gasped. "But," Olive continued, "I do have an idea how you can enjoy the weather, rain or shine." "Tell us!" cried the other animals. "Come and swim!" Moss and Olive cried, and kersplash! They all jumped into the pond, and one by one the other animals followed, and they were all having such a good time splashing about, they didn't even notice when it started to rain. All weather friends. We have a lot of fun in all different kinds of weather. I like puddle jumping. I like playing in the snow. I like flying kites in the wind. I like swimming in the sunshine. All kinds of things to do. What do you do? What's your favorite type of weather to play in? Let me know. Bye.